More than 340,000 crypto investors are screwed right now. It's absolutely insane. And crypto firms Genesis and Gemini are now being charged by the SEC with selling unregistered securities. But is it really Gemini's fault here? What really happened? And what are the Winklevoss twins saying? All of that's going to happen in this video. Make sure you guys smash the like button, subscribe to the channel because we cover everything in the cryptocurrency market. We cover individual altcoins, Bitcoin, top stories, top news. Right here is where you need to be every single day. Doesn't matter. Saturday, Sunday, Monday, we're here. We're here for you. So hit that like button, subscribe down below. Now let's dive in here. And a lot of things happening. Shout out to Tradex too, sponsor this month of the channel. Crypto firms Genesis and Gemini charged by the SEC with selling unregistered securities. Now here's the key takeaways, and then I've got some specific points. You're going to want to stick around and check this out because this is very, very fascinating, and it could have some big ripple effects on the overall crypto market. Now, the Securities and Exchange Commission alleged in a complaint that crypto firms Gemini and Genesis offered and sold unregistered securities. But again, I'm going to come back to this point. Is it Gemini's fault? It's the latest in a series of recent enforcement actions initiated by the SEC Chair Gary Gensler since the collapse of FTX in November. Now, Gemini was founded by the Winklevoss twins, and Genesis, owned by Barry Silbert's digital currency group, have been in a battle over the fate of $900 million worth of customer funds. So here's what's going on. Gemini, a crypto exchange, and Genesis, a crypto lender, they partnered up in February 2021 on a Gemini product called Earn, which touted yields up to 8% for customers. We've all seen similar programs like this, but Gemini's was really, really, really offering some high returns. Now, according to the SEC, Genesis loaned Gemini's users crypto and sent a portion of the profits back to Gemini, which then deducted an agent fee, sometimes over 4%, and then returned the remaining profit to its users. Genesis should have registered that product as a securities offering, SEC officials said in a complaint filed in Manhattan federal court. But again, this is Genesis who should have filed this, not Gemini. Right now, Gemini's Earn program, supported by Genesis lending activities, met the SEC's definition by including both an investment contract and a note. Those two features are part of how the SEC assesses whether an offering is a security or not. The SEC says the Earn program netted the companies billions of dollars in crypto assets. The agency is now seeking permanent injunctive relief, disgorgement, and civil penalties against both Genesis and Gemini, and noted that investigations into other securities law violations and into other entities and persons related to the alleged misconduct are ongoing. Now, the U.S. retail investors are the people getting hurt. Those who participated in the Gemini Earn program have suffered significant harm. The SEC complaint read, more than 340,000 investors have been affected by this freeze. Now, in the first 3 months of 2022, Gemini made around $2.7 million in agent fees off the Earn program, the SEC complaint alleged. Now, Genesis would use Gemini users' assets for institutional lending. Sound familiar? Or as collateral for Genesis's own borrowing. This is a very similar story than what happened with, you know what, FTX and Alameda. Over the same time period, Genesis paid out $166.2 million in interest to clients, including Gemini, on roughly $170 million of interest income. This coming from the SEC. Now, Genesis's institutional borrowers included Three Arrows Capital and Alameda Research. Both of those companies are now bankrupt. So that leaves Genesis in a very vicarious position. Representatives from Gemini and Genesis parent company Digital Currency Group declined to comment. Again, Gemini was founded back in 2015, where Cameron and Tyler Winklevoss had an extensive exchange that they could possibly start something special. Now, let me take you inside what Tyler Winklevoss is actually saying recently. It's disappointing that the SEC chose to file an action today at Gemini, and other creditors are working hard together to recover these funds. This action does nothing to further our efforts and help Earn users get their assets back. Their behavior is totally counterproductive here. As a matter of a background, the Earn program was regulated by the NYDFS, which, if we take a glance at that, that's who supervises things in the state of New York, and been in discussions with the SEC about the Earn program for more than 17 months. They never raised the prospect of any enforcement action until after Genesis paused withdrawals on November 16th. Despite these ongoing conversations, the SEC chose to announce their lawsuit to the press before notifying us. Super lame. It's unfortunate that they're optimizing for political points instead of helping us advance the cause of 340,000 Earn users and other creditors. We look forward to defending ourselves against this manufactured parking ticket, and we will make sure this does not distract us from the important recovery work that we are doing. But seriously, what is the point of urgency here? The Earn program has been shut down for almost 2 months. For the avoidance of doubt, Gemini has always worked hard to comply with all relevant laws and regulations. Any suggestions to the contrary is unsupported by the facts. Oh, and a more positive note, Bitcoin hit 19K today. Onward. So that's what the Winklevoss twins are essentially saying. Listen, this isn't on us. This is on Genesis and Digital Currency Group. They're the lenders. They're the ones doing the, fishy business here. Go after them, but don't come after us. Help us help the 340,000 people who are in the hole right now because Genesis screwed us over. So that's what basically the Winklevoss twins are saying about this. We'll see. We're going to have to track this because this is an important thing to watch right now, because we've always talked about the potential for further fallout from FTX, right? Now, crypto is rallying right now. A lot of people think that, eventually we're still in a bear market, right? Eventually we're going to level off here and maybe even touch down to some lower lows, but we're going to enjoy this while we have it. But again, we're always tracking the macro stories, like the bigger stories behind the scenes away from the charts. And this is one of the biggest right now going on. So we've got to stay focused on this. And at least I'll stay focused on it for you and keep you up to speed. So subscribe to the channel down below. Let me know what you guys think about this down there as well. And appreciate you guys so much for stopping by the channel. Take care.